Give me a D and a G. It's the Dawg and Gus Show. It's the Dawg and Gus Show.
Welcome to the Dawg and Gus Show.
Now on Be Kind Radio.
Yes, sir.
What is shaking, my man?
Well, we're going to chat with Heather Feather tonight.
Heather Feather, the legend herself. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. And how are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us. For people hearing, your music for the first time, if they were to hear it, who is Heather Feather?
Oh, it's a good question. So I am a Kindie artist. We call ourselves Kindie, and it stands for Kids Plus Indie. So we're a group of people who are not Disney and we're not Cocomelon, but we're just independent artists that want to put out music for kids that adults associate with, that they like to listen to as well. So we go in a number of different styles. My music is mostly jazz, funk, blues oriented with some pop and rock in there. It's fun. A little bit of folk, being from Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's very fun. Very fun.
I asked Gus if he's played it for his children yet.
And I have. I did. Yeah, we danced to it outside on the weekend.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I have twin 3.5-year-old daughters, so paying attention to a full song is still a challenge, but they were enjoying it, and so
Well,
was I.
They get it from their dad.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'm not good at staying.
Are
up
any
with
of
songs.
us?
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. See?
Yeah. Oh, it's not just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was just a dig at him. Sorry. So you grew up in Newfoundland and now call Montreal home. Have those two places shaped your music? How have those two places shaped your music?
My music is like a direct mix of the two. So spending the first half of my life in Newfoundland, you're surrounded by folk. And in our house, we had a lot of like Joan Baez. We had a lot of like Joni Mitchell, some really great stuff that my parents would listen to. My mom was an Elvis fan, but dad had curated a lot of folk. And you're surrounded by folk and storytelling and wonderful stories. You're not watching TV. You're sitting around with your family, often in kitchen parties, and everybody takes a song. And so this is how we share culture and we have a good time. So then I moved to Montreal and I'm surrounded by the most fabulous jazz scene in all of the country and exposed to that a lot and hearing a lot of it at McGill as well. And so kind of fusing the two. So the idea of, taking jazz harmonies and playing with jazz type sensibilities, but still putting a narrative in there, kind of like a Newfoundland folk song.
Yeah, I love that. I love Newfoundland. I've been there a couple of times. My best friend lives in Corner Brook, and so I visited a few times, and they made some really good jokes about me being from Ontario, but we won't talk about them here because it'll make me self-conscious. At what point did music stop being like a hobby for you and more of your life's work?
It was honestly my life's work, but it was just kind of how I was spending my time, I guess, in the music industry. Probably, starting in undergrad, I was a music major, but then I was focused more on performance. So I studied as a double major in French horn and voice. And then by the end of the degree at Memorial, I had switched to theory and composition. So I was doing a lot more writing and arranging. And then my master's and my PhD were in music theory. And all through those degrees, I was doing a lot of choral singing professionally, some touring with some groups. I was doing a lot of orchestral playing. And when I was in the States doing my master's, I did some orchestral work as well as some military band stuff. I did some subbing for some concert bands. So it wasn't until I really had my own child that I kind of went back to children's. So I took a few years off when he was born and then got into more children's music and thought about what music meant to me when I was growing up and then started reliving that with my son. So it was a total 180 in terms of what you're doing to make a living in music, but it was all music. It was always music.
Yeah.
That's interesting because that leads right into the next question is, what were you listening to as a kid? Like, I know you referenced Baez and Mitchell, but what were you listening to as a child?
Carole King as well. Listen to like Mamas and the Papas, anything that was on the radio in Newfoundland on VOCM. So a lot of Newfoundland folk music, a lot of older stuff, mostly 60s and 70s folk. And then when I had my time to listen to what I wanted to, I actually found atonal music and 20th century stuff when I was taking piano lessons. And my instructor said, why do you want to play that? Like the bleeps and bloops and stuff. And I just loved it. I thought it was fabulous. And it's not something that people are drawn naturally to. And it's kind of what spurred me on to do composition, like 20th century music. But I listened to a lot of Motown as well. And so that really, you'll hear a little bit of that in my music. There's a little bit of Motown kind of retro vibe in there. And I loved Stevie Wonder. I listened to Stevie Wonder a lot growing up. Anytime my mom took me out anywhere, we were listening to Elvis or Stevie Wonder. So,
Nice
or of
pair.
course, Raffi, growing up
Yeah.
Canadian. Sharon Lois and Bram.
Yeah, of course.
Raffi.
Is Rafi Kindy? Would you call him Kindy?
No, I don't think so. He is independent, right? Like he fits the definition. He might have been original Kindy, but he has taken a lot of folk songs that were pre-existing and then put his spin on them. So when we think more of indie, we think more of like,
Yeah, of course.
I guess, an indie song, but maybe kind of Sharon Lois and Bram and Raffi were really the creators of the children's music scene here in Canada, and Fred Penner, and we love them a lot. So although they took a lot of folk music and then spun it into stuff for kids, they did write their own original music. Like we've got Baby Beluga. Who doesn't know Baby Beluga? You know?
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I know it quite well.
One of the best songs ever written, and it's just beautiful, right?
It is, yeah. I've only heard it about 700,000 times.
Listen, man, I worked in
There
the
you
group
go.
home for years, and one of the ladies that lived in the group home, we put that on for her at night, so you'd hear it coming out of her room. Like it was
Yeah.
just like, so I know it quite well too, and I don't have any children.
It's a great song.
Yeah, well, it's a great tune. Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, for
It
sure.
would be great for music therapy, exactly. If you're going to go back
Yeah.
to, reminisce about good times in your childhood, you would throw on music you listen to, and it's the real
This is true.
soundtrack of childhood.
Yeah. Skinnamarink Dinky Dink. That's the one.
Absolutely. That Sharon and Lois and Bram version, more so
Yeah.
than the Raffi one
That's
for me.
the that's the one for me too. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. Was there like what lessons from growing up in Mount Pearl still influence you today?
Community was a big thing. So growing up in Newfoundland, everybody just walked into everybody's house. You shared what you had, you gave what you had, and you knew that people had your back when you needed it. So I just remember neighbors walking in and like taking the sugar out of the cupboard and bringing it back later, or, somebody was baking something. They didn't have all the ingredients. I remember a lot of community spirit. Mount Pearl was a place of huge community spirit. So everybody in that city knew everybody else, even before it was incorporated as a city, because it started as a small town. And then the neighborhoods it was divided into zones and regions. And there was a community pride festival called the Frosty Festival that was in the winter. And it was run every February, I believe. Yeah. And so it was all about community togetherness. And so within your zone, then you get to know everybody in your community. My parents helped build a community center, actually, in our neighborhood. We grew up in a disadvantaged neighborhood, and they really needed a place to go that was safe to have services. And so I remember being a part of doing a lot of fundraising for that and literally helping build the structure.
Amazing.
So a lot of good stuff from Mount Pearl. Like is absolutely a fantastic place to raise a family still.
Yeah. Actually, if I may, just before you ask, Dog, when I was in Corner Brook, one thing that I noticed that was kind of wonderful, as growing up in Ottawa, I remember being able to play in the roads and playing road hockey, and you're outside, you're on your bike and stuff. And that's kind of gone away. Whereas when I went to see my friend in Corner Brook, it's very much alive there, and it's very much still a community where we were in the backyard and there was a fire going and everybody was chatting away. And I mean, as beers went on, I didn't understand exactly what was happening with some of the people that are from Corner Brook, but that's only because there's a language barrier. Just kidding. It was a wonderful time, but you know what I mean? It's sort of still there, which is nice. I think that's still a community thing we should get back to a bit here in Ottawa, although it's more challenging in Montreal or Ottawa or Toronto or Vancouver is because of the size, right? So you can't really do it.
There are little pockets. I live in an area in a suburb city called Beaconsfield. And in this neighborhood, we have the same kind of community spirit that we had in Mount Pearl. And there are community pools, and it's by district. And then there's you can join the Swim Hub by district. And then, there's all these wonderful neighborhood barbecues and stuff. So we have that also on our little area of a few streets. So we've managed to bring a little bit of that here. That spirit's still there. But you're right. I mean, in the greater city, it is very, very difficult when you don't know your neighbors. In this case, I can go across the street and my neighbor has my garage code and I have his. So we share tools, and we, it's like growing up in Newfoundland, but it's very rare. It's getting rarer and rarer in society.
Agreed.
I live in an apartment. I don't know the person across the hallway.
There
So-
you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, because I choose not to, but
That's your
No,
that's you, buddy.
That's
you.
on me. That's
Yeah,
on me.
on
'Cause
you.
I'm sure she's a lovely person. How does your academic background influence the way that you write songs?
I think it's just realizing how much is out there. The more that you learn, the more you realize you don't know. The more you realize that you'll never know. It's incredibly humbling. You finish a high-level academic degree and you're like, what? That's it? You mean not that's it? And you look and you say, I still don't know that. There's so much out there. And so I kind of approach music the same way, and I realize how much can I give to kids? So it really influences as well, having studied ear training and taught that, how I present music to kids. So if I want to give a more complicated thinker storyline, how do I simplify the music? So it's still interesting, but they can digest it in a way that makes sense to their brains. And like everything has a shelf, like all the little boxes of rhythms and melody. So the same thing, like I'm going to give a simple tune, like in terms of lyrics, but now I can do a little bit more with the melody or a little bit more with the rhythm. So it kind of, the idea of music cognition and all studying all those things as well really plays into how I write for kids.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you feel torn between the two, but you've answered that. So do you ever feel what's something most people misunderstand about music education?
I think they think that it's just stale and that there's only maybe one way to do it, or like there's no just one way. There's so much out there. There's so much you can offer in terms of music education. And there's so many ways in which kids learn. So we're seeing a lot more differentiated education right now, like in the last 10, 20 years, where we're realizing people learn differently. We have a lot more kids with IEPs who need like an individualized education plan, which is super because we should have always had that. We're all different and we all have different talents. So when you go into music education, it's very much the same way. So sometimes we'll go a whole lesson and somebody might never read a note. That's great. We're doing stuff by ear. And then another one, it's more exploratory. It's like, well, you figure it out. You tell me what you think's going on. That's for the people who like to engineer and like to twiddle with things, you know? So you can do that. Everything that you're doing in the regular classroom, you could do in music ed as well.
Yeah, fair.
So this is a loaded question. I'm sure you'll have a really good answer for. How important is it to keep music in the schools?
Yeah, I know there were 2 Grammy winners that actually gave speeches about that this year, about keeping music in the schools and thanking their music educators. Super important because otherwise you're not going to have it. Like music just opens so many doors. And when you're looking at music education from a young age, it hits on every single area of child development. So you're helping with cognitive development, speech and language development, like both spoken and understanding. You're helping with physical growth in terms of fine motor and gross motor. You're helping with all of these areas, emotional, social growth. So those are like your basic 5, some maps of development, put it into like 8 areas or 9 and just break those up. And as you continue music in the school, you're also giving kids a chance to explore. You're giving them a chance to express themselves in otherwise ways that they wouldn't be able to. You're giving the shy kids a safe place to hang out. You're giving the kids who like other a chance to find themselves, find out how their own brain works and find their talents, you know? So you take away so much when you take away musics and arts programs. It's
so true.
just, it's a real shame to see programs closing because it's a gift that keeps giving, the arts, you know, just to have that exposure.
And every kid learns differently. So it's like that's such a great point where someone who's artistic and sees things differently would be so much more beneficial for them to go to a music class and they can learn, like you said, all those pieces that are part of it. So I love that. That's a great answer.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
Thank you.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we're
Well,
gonna ask
kids
somebody,
the kids with the that take from music and it helps them with their math skills. I mean, it's all transferable stuff too. So I like kids, like especially even my sister growing up had some issues with math, and when she started taking piano, all of a sudden her math processing got better. So you know, you're also removing that. And it's all related. It's all related.
Yeah, it's interesting that they'll think about cutting the music programs, but not the math.
well, no, but
I'm teasing.
I don't think that either should be cut. To be honest,
No, I don't.
But,
Well, that we feel that.
but it is interesting though that it was tied together. And many people that excel in math excel in music too. So it's funny how those two go together. You know.
That was actually my PhD.
Oh, there you go.
Math
Yeah.
modeling. It's modeling in music.
All right. Well, there you go. So, like, prove my point. She proved my point.
because she got a PhD in it.
Yeah. So we should.
Yeah, okay.
If we're gonna ask anybody anything, you should. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a doctor in this stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're speaking to a doctor, dog. So step it up. Okay. Was there ever a point? Was there ever? This might be a soft question, but was there ever a point where you almost gave up?
Oh my goodness, so many times. I have terrible performance anxiety. That's why I stopped doing the performance degree. And I just realized I'm that person in the back. I stopped singing. I just couldn't do it. And as a French horn player, you're at least hiding in the back. So in the back of the orchestra, like the only person behind me is the timpani dude and the percussion section. So like everybody else, the violinists, they're all out in front. I'm just hiding in the back doing my thing, you know? And I played fourth horn. So it was always the supporting. I'm the bass. I'm the rock, but I'm not the star. And that for me was okay. I had MS and I didn't know I had it. So I'd have a solo and I'd just panic and sometimes I'd drop my instrument, but I didn't know that it was because I was having issues in my brain with my own motor skills and my own memory. So just all that going through school and then having my son and then losing the ability to walk because of MS. It's like, I am not going back. But I went back and I finished,
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. Oh, yeah. Musicians go through a lot. Just performance anxiety alone. There were so many times in my life I was like, I'm done. I'm walking away. It's really the love of music. And at this point in my life, the love of the kids. Why
Yeah.
else would I do it, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Now, if that had actually happened, what would you have fallen back on? If you decided that I can't do this anymore, what would you have done?
That is a really good question. I think the best transferable skills would have been to work in community recreation, to work in some kind of like educator role in counseling and therapy, like you're saying in a group home. That could have been done with some of my background. And I would have found that very rewarding. I know that doing accounting, spreadsheet work in the background, that would have also been possible. I would have had to do a few accreditations, but these are things that I enjoy, like that nerdy side of me. Loves like working with facts and figures. I was doing some writing on the side for the Canadian Encyclopedia of Music, and I did some proofreading before. So all of those were other things that I could do in the background if I wanted to transition out of this. But now when I think of performing for kids, I'm not performing. I'm making music with them. So it's a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great question, Doc. Looking back,
Mhm.
what does songs for growing mean to you today?
I chose that name because there was a little bit of everything on that album. And when we talked earlier about like, these are the ways around the circle, if the child is in the center and these are all the areas of growth, I covered every area. And some songs cover more than one. So that first album covered every area and specifically something for every age group, starting from maybe 18 months all the way up to 10 years old. So it was very intentional coming from an educational background that I had embedded all that in there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's the thing too. Like who you're targeting, like what age range you're targeting with the music that you're going to be making for them, right?
Absolutely. It's a good question.
Yeah.
It's just seemed to be an obvious choice at that point.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
wasn't sure exactly if I wanted to kind of focus on any one specific age. It was a first album. So I thought, well, I'll do a little bit of everything. But
The
there's something on it for everyone.
analytical mathematics came through there, eh?
Probably.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, why not? Why not ask me a question? You know?
Keep going, buddy.
What did you learn from making your first album that helped with Together?
So much. So much. So the first album I went in and I didn't really know very much about production. I had, these songs I wanted to create and I knew in my mind what I wanted, but I didn't have a producer. So I knew with the people that I was working with when I had jazz musicians that we would make it come together and I could speak their language enough that we could kind of make it sound like I had in my head. And I had everything done as lead sheets with a few extra little scribbles of like, this specific rhythm here, or I really want that counter melody there. And it was pretty straightforward, but I really liked the push and pull in the studio of, well, what if you tried it this way? Well, what if you tried it this way? So it was a real mixing of minds and making me question, like, is that really what I want that song to sound like? And then taking that and thinking, well, that's really great, but I really want somebody to oversee the whole process to make sure it really is a united piece of work, that there really is a direction. And I want an outside body as a producer to say, yeah, that's a good song, or you know what, that could use a little bit more, or that would be killer if it had a bridge. So getting a producer was a big thing. That was one thing I learned. Second is that I loved working with jazz musicians, and I said, I'm doing that on the next one. That was a success. Loved working in Alchemist Studio in Montreal, working with Strozzi and Charles. So that was great too. It was mainly producer and then letting somebody push me in more directions than I was even willing to go in. Because that's what a producer does. Really makes you think.
Yeah, it's true. That's what we get from other artists. They say the same thing. Right?
Yes, exactly. When they're working with
It's good.
somebody.
It's good to have someone like kind of looking from above
Mhm.
almost.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a song on the album that was especially emotional to write?
First one, I think Shane the Sheep, because if you've grown up as like an outsider, feeling like an outsider, as a kid who's not included, and you're not accepted for who you are, and being the poor sheep who says, I don't want to just jump over your bed and have people count sheep. I want to say moo, identify as a cow. And like you can put so many different kids. Like, is this just the kid who identifies as other in terms of like gender? Is this the kid who's like, well, I want to wear nail polish and everybody's laughing at me? Is this just the kid who says, well, I don't like sports and everyone in my class does? You can read whoever you want into Shane. On the second one, for sure, included also, like being a kid that wasn't included, knowing people who weren't included, knowing kids that are left out. Like that was a real, that really pulled on me because I'm trying to imagine all these situations in which to call out to kids to say exactly how many ways you can leave somebody out and you shouldn't. Here are all the situations that you specifically should look to include. So don't forget these people. Performing that one's tough too. And I'm good enough, like giving myself grace, because that specifically deals with performance anxiety. And it took me a long time, like 20 years, to internalize myself. I'm good enough just the way I am, as long as I do my best every day. All you can do is your best. And if you've done your best, you can't ask for anything more of yourself, nor can anyone else ask more of you.
That's what we try to instill at the school for sure. Just do your best. Did you do your best? Did you try your best? Yeah. Well, okay then. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's a nicer time. Like I remember like being raised differently for sure. It was not the
Absolutely.
same. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a lot more. Yeah.
Well, and for the better, like, and I'm definitely softer than, my mother was or whatever at the time. I mean, my mom's amazing, but she was a challenge at times.
Yes.
Absolutely. Things change, right?
Exactly. Yeah. How do you balance educational value with entertainment?
That's a really good question, a really tough one, because I tend to get stuck on my own head. Like, as somebody who went to school for a million years, I do tend to get stuck on my own head. So I think too hard, or I question too much. And it's hard to just think about it as just being fun. So I always think about the intention first, the educational intention, and then create the song. But that can be really boring sometimes. So you just got to take a step back and sometimes just go for a walk and just kind of hum and think, that would be a cool groove. And then just stick with that. And then, like, don't think about it. These are the things that I have to jot down in a sketchbook because I don't want to assign attention to them. I just want it to be cool before I put any words on there. So that's the biggest challenge for me, is not being so theoretical from the beginning and just creating music like everybody else, which I've learned when I go to kids conferences that everyone just starts with the cool idea and I'm the odd woman out. So
Fair enough.
I feel it would be really tough though too, because of your background and all the education that you have in music theory and all that stuff, to not get going, well, we could do this, and then the kids are going, what? Like, because kids, like, their attention spans are so short these days, so it's kind of hard. You want to grab them as soon as you can for the song, right? So and then they're paying attention.
absolutely. One of the good things, though, with that background is knowing how to read the room and knowing how many different types of kids are out there. So when something goes wrong or goes weird at especially a larger show where you have less one-on-one control in the room, you can pivot really fast. So I don't think I've done a show in a long time when I haven't been in control of my own playlist and changing my set list on the fly. Because if it's not working, it's not working. You do have to switch things up, right? And the goal of a musician is to entertain and educate and to connect. So if you're not connecting, then what are you doing up there?
Sure.
Backpedal.
That's right. I usually ask this question, but it'd be fun to do it if we could all name a kid's song. So you just robbed a bank. Okay, and you're in the car and you're driving away, but you can have only one song on the radio. And in this situation, it has to be a kid's song. What is it?
Oh, that's tough. There
I
are
can't
a lot of really good ones. Obviously not. What reminds me of is the song that Johnny Harris wrote when he did he wrote it with the kids when they did the Janeway telethon in St. John's, Newfoundland, like 20 years ago. And one of the lyrics was, "No, we're not robbing a bank." But
Perfect.
no, but that's not actually on the radio. I don't know, something about Susie Shelton, Mr. Cookie Jar, and Anne Tarabella, Little Miss Anne's Jump into the Water. That would be a fun one.
That's a good
Because
one.
it's like, forget it all. Like, just let it go. Just jump into the water. Don't drown me. Don't push water on me. No, man, you splashing on me. Just jump and play in the water.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
I could drive away from a bank with that song.
Yeah,
Are you
it's a pretty
cheating?
rocket song.
I just sticking for the song that I actually wanted to do. I made it up as I went, so I have to.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Down by the Bay.
Nice.
And that's off the top of my head, mister.
That's
Not looking
good.
at my phone.
Yeah, fair.
Hey, you're welcome.
Fair
But
enough.
what would be a rhyme? Have you ever had a bank that when you robbed it, it sank or something? Like down by the bay?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think
Like you'd have to come up with a
Yes,
Down
I'd have
by
to come
the
up.
bay, and then you'd be like, You got to talk about the bank.
Yeah, I got to talk about
The
the bank.
bank that sank.
Maybe about burying the money in the
Burying the money in the bank. The bank in the
on the bank of the river. There you go. I don't know, man.
I don't know who to thank.
Have you ever had a February when there's money you couldn't bury?
There you go.
Robbing a bank down by the bay. I don't know.
Nice. I'm gonna go Dominic the Donkey.
Okay.
I know it's random, but Dominic the Donkey.
I have no idea what that song is.
I don't know that one. I only know the Wonky Donkey. That's funny.
Dominic the Donkey is a Christmas song.
Okay.
But it is a
I'll
random
look it up.
song. I'll do Wonky Donkey. Wonky Donkey's pretty good too. Yeah.
I figured you'd just pull one out because you have children. I thought it wouldn't.
Yeah, but
it wouldn't take you much to do it.
Sometimes, listen, I respect Heather Feather a lot, but sometimes when you're listening to kids' music constantly, eventually you black out. As a parent of twins, I'm telling you, you black out.
You don't. It's not called blacking out. It's called extincting. You're extincting the song. You've just completely ignored it.
Ooh, extincting the song.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Nice
Nice
little wordage.
Yeah, there you go.
Your bank, and you thank someone for the bank, and then you sank in a
tank, in a fish tank.
In a fish tank.
You know
there
what?
you go.
You could also listen to Good Day by Mega Ran. Love Mega Ran. He was nominated for that album. You have to look it up. Good Day by Mega Ran.
Okay.
Good Day.
Yeah, he was one of the 5 Grammy nominees, and that was his lead song on the album. It was pretty awesome.
And the name?
Mega Ran.
Mega Ran.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good.
Good Day by Mega Ran.
Okay. I could have pulled out some Bob Hartman, but he does more.
Fred Penner's good too. I remember Fred Penner when I was, but he always
Love Fred Penner.
Yeah. As a kid, that was kind of what I remember watching that show a lot.
I love His Cat Came Back. I do.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. That is a banger. Like he gets that going.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got?
Going banger.
There? Yeah.
A banger. Oh my God.
Are we having too much fun or what?
I don't.
I don't.
I thought I was done with school for the day.
No, you're not. You're in school, baby.
Yep. I'm learning. What's your songwriting process?
So we kind of touched on that a little bit. I always think of the intention first, and that's tough because I always think about what I'm writing about, and then I think about a mood, and then I start thinking about a few lyrics, and then I work on a bit of melody, or I might think of the mood and start with harmony, but it's always the intention first, and that's what I'm trying to get out of. So with this next album that's kind of on the way with not the French version of Together, but the one for little kids, I'm going to think more about just the fun tune and what it speaks to later. Like maybe just an intention, like this song is going to be about jumping, but I'm not going to write anything, no lyrics, no nothing, and just think of something musically that represents jumping and then get into it. I have to change that. That's what I have to get into.
Good for you to change, though. Like sometimes it's hard to do, I would imagine.
It is, but it's important because we all keep growing. I mean, if you're not still growing and you're not still learning and you're not trying new things, life gets pretty boring, right?
True.
Totally. Have kids ever inspired a song directly?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Spring, that was released about 2 months ago, is all the lyrics are written by kids. So that one came out 2 months ago, but it's from last spring. So working in so many daycares and preschools in Quebec, you have the CPEs, so the Centre de Petite Enfance, and a lot of the curriculum is emergent. So when the seasons are changed, it turns a lot to like, what do you see outside? And it just becomes an emergent topic because obviously the children see this change. So I asked them what they saw outside, and this became the lyrics. So I said, how do you know it's spring? Tell me about the signs of spring. So they said, the snow melts, the leaves grow back, there's some flowers blooming, and then we had to put them in order. So with the 4-year-olds, we put the steps in order, and we did this between 3 different preschools, and those became the verses. That's all they are. And all I wrote was the chorus. It's spring, I'm so happy it's spring. Let's sing about all the wonderful things happening. And then it just goes back to whatever their signs of spring were. And I left it open, and there's a backing track. So if you do it in your class, you can just ask them, make up the lyrics on the fly. It's part of the fun, right? What do you see out the window?
Absolutely.
So that was written by kids.
Jeez.
I've had a couple like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, let them write.
I could imagine that you've gotten some good things. This question, what is the funniest thing a child has said to you after a performance?
There's so many. Somebody said to me the other day, she said quietly to her mother, she's not having a baby, is she? And I just gained weight, and I could see her mom say, no. And that was quite funny. I don't care. It's totally fine. Sometimes somebody asks you, like, how old are you? And they don't know. You could be 21 and you could be 82, and they don't know the difference depending on their age.
Right.
And you could tell them that you're 82, and they'd say, oh, my mom's older than you. And then their mom's looking at them like, what? You get some really funny questions.
I bet.
Couple that I've gotten at shows from older kids, like grade 3, grade 4. Are you famous? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a legend in my own
No.
mind.
No,
Legendary.
like,
Yeah.
what's famous? And one kid was like, but you have a YouTube channel. I was like, well, I do. Well, how many subscribers do you have? And then that was the full measure of the only thing that mattered from like that grade 3 class was how many subscribers were on my YouTube channel. Like, it's just funny. Like,
Yeah.
just the random things. How many kids do I have? How many pets have I ever had? How tall am I? Am I married? Do I have, I don't know, like, just all kinds of things. They just ask you.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. That's great.
Like, you never know what they're going to ask.
Sounds like they're writing your autobiography for you.
Yeah.
Well, they're just real questions. Where do
Yeah.
you live? You know?
Kids are the best, though.
I
They're
get-
the
I
last-
What's your
get that a
favorite food? Well, it's
What
like
i-
an interview. What is your favorite food?
What is your favorite
You know?
food?
Yeah.
No, I like smoothies a lot with soy milk, but I'm a gluten-free vegan, so I don't know. Sushi's pretty cool. I can eat sushi. I cheat
Yeah.
sometimes with fish. I feel okay when I eat fish.
Yeah.
But, you know, they want to hear chocolate, and I do love chocolate, and they love chocolate too, so that's a great chance to connect.
True.
Like, who doesn't like chocolate,
I know.
right?
So
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
chocolate, and then you're best friends, right? You bond
Man,
it.
well, then they're asking for it, though. That's the problem.
Is there a
Do you
better,
have any?
is there a better drink than chocolate milk? Like, I don't think so.
No, there's not.
No,
There's not.
Chocolate milkshake.
I mean,
Yeah, that's pretty good.
that's true. Well, then we wrote a song called Chocolate Tree. I wish I had a chocolate tree. And I still have to record that one, but kids wrote that one too, group of 4-year-olds. I said, what do you wish you had? I said, chocolate tree.
That's a pretty good one.
And I grow chocolate bars for you and me.
Wow.
I want
I
that
was like-
chocolate tree.
You be
Yeah,
living
I
it.
want a
You
chocolate
be-
tree too.
Yes.
You
Can
Absolutely.
you imagine just picking chocolate bars all day and like I'm doing the wrapper?
Not with my
That's
sweet
pretty
tooth.
awesome.
I'd be in big trouble.
Me too.
Why is making every child feel seen and included so important to you?
Because I didn't feel seen or heard, and I know so many people that didn't either. And I just think it's a horrible feeling. And that as we're moving forwards in society and we're making strides in that direction, let's keep going in the right direction. There are some nations in the world where we're moving backwards. And I don't want to go there. I don't want children to divide themselves based on race, based on color, based on religion. It's not important. And we have come so far, like as a society. And I really think that, especially in Canada, like it defines really who we are. That we're not a melting pot. We don't expect everybody to conform, but you could be who you are, be accepted for who you are, and you find your place in Canadian society. It's really about shared values of doing what's right, whatever that may be, you know?
Yeah.
How can music help children develop empathy?
It's just a pause for thought, really. Having them using music to express all kinds of things around empathy. Like I wrote a song called Empathy and explained what it is. It's about if you can see what's in my heart and I can know what's in your heart. And then our hearts are like sharing that information. That's really what empathy is. When you're really looking in somebody's heart and you're really trying to feel what they feel, but also just trying to present the idea of otherness to children, that you are the center of your own world because you know yourself, but there are a lot of other people that are out there who may think differently and looking out for those people too. So it just seems like music is such a great vehicle to do that through because it can make a tune catchy, it can make it stick, can also express, like you can make a sad tune, you can make a melody that sounds catchy about kindness, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to sing the catchy tune about kindness, you know?
Yeah. That's true.
Makes it stick.
Yeah, it does make it stick. That's a good point. What have you learned through the Children's Music Network?
A lot, that there are so many different types of people that work with music and children, that there are so many different ways to use music to educate, to inform, to elucidate, to entertain, to learn from the children. Because it's not just children's entertainers, it's people who are children's librarians, and they play such an important role in society when you think about library and culture. And where is the safe space for every child? Really, it's the public library. It doesn't cost anything. You can often get free tutoring there. You can do some activities. Doesn't charge families, you know? So libraries are safe spaces, and children's librarians are magical. So getting to work with children's librarians is fantastic. And they're always looking for ways to incorporate music into their story times, into their activities, into their themes, and to try to bring a little magic to kids. Also working with music teachers, you know? So there's people that are in all these different roles that combine music and childhood, and they're not just one type of person. we're everywhere and we do all kinds of different things. And even as parents, music plays a role for each parent in a different way. How you listen, how you entertain. Do you listen as a family? Do you have a special song before bedtime?
Yeah.
Do you?
Do we have a special song? Yeah. Brush your teeth.
Nice.
Yes!
Yeah. Well, it's a non. Yeah, we do it in the morning too, but that's a different.
There's also the Passepartout, the brosse les dents as well, by Passepartout from, I don't know, 30 years ago, which is also big in Quebec.
I should incorporate
Brosse,
that.
je me brosse les dents, right? So
Yes.
it's very catchy as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna incorporate that one. Maybe one in the morning, one in the evening, separate.
Yeah.
Because they're
Same,
going.
but
They're
different.
going to immersion, so it's gonna be, you know.
Yes, I
you
do.
gotta
I do.
Speak un petit peu de français, mais je dois pratiquer avec lui. Go ahead, dog.
Thank you so much. What improvements would you like to see in the music industry regarding accessibility?
One of the big things is that accessibility for audiences has come a long way. The idea of quiet shows for people who are neurodiverse and cannot stand the stimulation, the idea of turning up or down the lights, of no strobes, like all these things are wonderful. We're having more and more accessibility on restrooms for people who are blind that need braille. We have more accessibility for getting into the building for people who use mobility aids. We need more accessibility for the artists. That same thing isn't always there for the artist to get on the stage. Sometimes festivals don't invite an artist. They don't have the capability to get the artist to the venue. You know, like an outdoor festival, is it really wheelchair friendly? Can you get across an outdoor festival grass and somehow get on that stage? And I have had a friend who's actually said, well, somebody said to him, well, I didn't ask you if you wanted to play that gig because, you know, there's that ladder you got to climb to get on stage. And he said, well, I mean, I'm paraplegic, but my arms are great, so I can just climb up my arms and hand me a guitar when I'm on the stage. Just ask. So the idea of just ask what are your accessibility needs is just the neutral way to ask whenever you're working with somebody and you're not sure. So I think that needs to be asked of the audiences and of performers, and then everybody just needs to do more of not being afraid to ask and then working with it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, it's a very good point because you don't really, I don't mean to belittle artists, but you don't think of them though. Like it's just more, okay, we've got audience members that need the accessibility, but we don't think about the artists. It's very true.
Yeah, because climbing up a stage is not usually easy.
No.
You know, we've done it a couple times as hosts, and it's, you know, like tight. You know, you're kind of trying to get in there and, you know, figure it out. So I couldn't even imagine somebody that needed some accessibility to be going through. So that's a very good point. A very good cause as well. We like to do a couple, you know, a little bit of a, what do we call it? Fast questions.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Favorite Newfoundland food?
Cod.
Yeah, that's a cod.
Fish and
Makes sense.
chips.
There you go.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Best concert you've ever seen?
Ozzy.
Ozzy. He's child friendly.
Yeah.
Well,
But he puts on a good show.
He loves bats.
Yeah. Favorite children's book?
I'm going to say The Mitten
All right.
or The Gruffalo. It's a toss-up. The Mitten or The Gruffalo.
The Gruffalo is a favorite in my home.
Yeah.
So, yes. And my cousin's home. My cousin got me the book when I had the kids. He's like, you got to read this to the kids. One musician you'd love to collaborate with?
Ooh, if I could. I mean, my idol is Stevie Wonder. If
Yes.
you
still
know,
can?
like
That would be awesome.
it would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Yeah, it would
you
be
imagine?
pretty okay.
Yeah.
What's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Maybe that my favorite concert was Ozzy.
No, that's
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
mean,
metal,
it's
true-
but I
true
love
story.
all types of music.
Yeah, especially that's I like Ozzy's pretty awesome anyway. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Oh, hard to know. There's so many. Paranoid Android
Ooh.
or
Amazing.
maybe
Radiohead fan?
yeah, as well. And
Yeah,
I love
nice.
Flying High Again by Ozzy. That's actually really interesting as a music theorist, looking at some of how that stuff fits together because you can't really understand unless you dig in. Like,
Yeah.
where did they come up with that guitar solo? That's pretty wild stuff. Like that chord progression.
I like that. She
It's-
analyzing.
Yeah, well, it's her background. I don't think she would be able to not do it.
Well, it's
Yeah, that'd be
literally a
good
pattern.
question. That'd be a question you usually ask too.
Yeah, it is one that I usually ask. Like because of your background, if you go to a concert, are you enjoying the music or are you like you're doing just breaking it down? Oh, that was interesting what they did there. Oh, I see what they did there. Or are you just there to enjoy the music?
Both.
Yeah.
I can't help but see like some people who are synesthetes, you see color and I just see the notes. I see the score just showing up. Or somebody, like oftentimes I listen to a song for the first time and they'll go somewhere that I really didn't expect harmonically. And I'm like, oh, That was really interesting. So what is that leading to? Because it has to do with like implication realization of setting up a pattern and an expectation. Now you've not gone where I've expected you to, but you've gone somewhere really unexpected. But that must mean something for further on. So what's going to happen in 4 bars, or
Yeah.
So that's always happening, but I'm totally enjoying it.
Different than us.
Oh, very much so.
Dog's very when he's very stoic when he's watching a show. He looks like he's not enjoying it. He's really enjoying it, but he just sort of stands there, and then I'm everywhere.
I lose them at every show.
Yeah, I'm all over the place. I'm all different angles, and I need to see, I need to feel it. Is it me or you?
Yeah, it's you.
Is it?
Yeah, whatever.
Why not? What's the weirdest thing that's happened during a live performance?
But weird. Funny. I guess kids unplugging my cables. So one show that we did in Brooklyn, kids were like rushing the stage and trying to jump on the speakers. So that was kind of funny. It was a toddler, like almost like a toddler mosh pit it turned into.
Nice.
That was really funny. Or when you take a bubble machine and then they all want to like jump up and try to grab it out of your hands or something, and you're walking around after singing the last song. There's all kinds of fun stuff that you never expect that's going to happen when, you got a room full of 3-year-olds just running around.
That's a real thing, by the way. Bubbles make
Bubbles
kids
crazy. It makes them crazy.
Happened
They do. It
yesterday.
does.
We were at a birthday party, 3.5-year-olds, bunch of 3-year-olds running around, great time. Bubble machine came out. It was like
Pandemonium.
Yeah. We're not friends anymore, and it's I don't want to say kill or be killed, but it was essentially that, Yeah.
My goodness. Festival stage or intimate library performance?
Library performance.
Nice.
I can really connect with each kid.
Yeah, I bet. Newfoundland or Montreal bagels? I mean,
Does
Oh,
Newfoundland have a bagel?
Yeah.
Okay.
no. Really? I mean, there's one place that opened up, an old bagel shop. I can't even
The
remember
whole
what they're
province.
called when I was undergrad. It was at St. John's, and I liked it, but I mean, Montreal bagels, hand down, right? I can't eat
Yeah.
them because I'm gluten free, but
Yep.
man, I remember them.
Hey, they have gluten-free
Saint
options.
Viateur.
My wife's from Verdun. There's gluten-free options, I promise you.
Yeah, but how does that taste anyway?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot more gluten free vegan stuff that tastes good now.
Yeah. Used to be
It's my
pretty-
birthday next week, and I have my choice of birthday cakes, and they all taste good. Like my husband and my son will eat them, and they don't taste like sawdust anymore.
Oh, that's good. It's good. I said they've come a little ways.
They have.
Writing songs or performing songs?
Writing. If I could write in the background forever. Yeah. Love writing.
A studio recording or live shows?
That's a toss up. I guess I'd have to say studio because I get to laugh and laugh and laugh, whereas I just can't keep laughing when you're on stage, I'm laughing with the kids, but you have to stop and do the next song.
Yeah, you do have to get through your set for sure.
You would look a
Exactly.
little different if you were just laughing all the time. Like
Just-
I know,
Just
right?
laughing maniacally.
Yeah.
Piano or guitar?
Guitar.
Nice. What's next for Heather?
Well, 2 big projects on the go. So actually today I found out that my Yoto card is out. So that was a big undertaking. It's taken about a year to put together. So Yoto was for the kids, like we used to have these little Winnie the Pooh record players and stuff when we were little, and they were little plastic records.
Mhm.
So now it's a Yoto player, or there's another brand, and it's a card that you put or a little gem on the top of a box, so it's no screens. So my Yoto card came out today for my 2025 album. So now it's available in Canada, USA, and UK, and you can buy the album and the new cover art for Together. That includes all kinds of different types of people and kids playing together. And then kids can just choose from an icon and no screen, just what music they want to listen to. So I'm really proud of that. I am also really excited that Together will be coming out as ensemble in French. And then there's also still working on this music for the youngest ones. So like mostly 5 and under in English. So all that's kind of coming out at the same time. So it's a busy year,
Yeah.
but really excited about it.
Fantastic.
Nice. Keeps you out of trouble anyway.
Yes.
Dream venues or festivals you'd still love to play?
Someday, the Vancouver Children's Festival is pretty awesome. I just saw some footage from some friends who just played it, and they had 5 different children's artists on it. And then they all did some songs together. That looked amazing. And then there's St. Albert's in Alberta is a week away from, I'm trying to remember which one it is. Is it Saskatoon? There's 2 festivals that are out west that are right next to one another that are pretty awesome. There might be a couple of festivals this summer for me on the East Coast, but I don't have the agreement signed yet, so I can't say what they are. But
Okay. Fair enough.
there's some big ones in the cards that I'm pretty excited about.
It's awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
Goals for the next 5 years.
I always think in 5-year plans. That's a really good question. So I would like to, after these 2 are out, the One for 5 and under will have to be done in French because I believe in doing everything bilingually. And I would like to do one more album along the lines of Together that's designed in English and French, but release them at the same time and hopefully get Canada Council or some other funding for it and also make that a school tour. So that would be a lot of fun. So more along the lines of disability, inclusion, anti-bullying, all these types of things that are good messages that we need.
Yes.
Yeah, that's high on the in most of the schools. Like I work in a school, and that's one of the biggest things that we look for now is the anti-bullying and all that, and just making kids feel good about themselves and stuff. And it's amazing.
Pink Shirt Day.
Yes, that works too. Pink Beard Day.
Yeah. Dog did his beard like completely pink for Pink Shirt Day.
That's
Looked amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Kids
awesome.
love it. They're all like, "What colors are going to be next? You should do it." And I get all these.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I get all these like
Pink's
yellow.
the best one.
Yeah, pink is pink and purple are my faves.
Yeah,
for sure. What message would you want every child listening to your music take away from your music?
That you were you. There was only one you in the world, and you were the best you that there can possibly be.
Where can people find your music and upcoming projects?
On all streaming platforms. So you can just look up Heather Feather, and my website is heatherfeathermusic.com, and everything else is at Heather Feather Children's Music or Heather Feather on YouTube and Apple Music and Tidal and Deezer and all of those streaming platforms. Bandcamp. I should upload to Bandcamp more than I do. I actually have a few singles I haven't put on yet. I haven't had time.
That's where we kind of push everybody to go so that people get paid for it properly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ask the hit question?
I'd love to. I never get to do it. You always ask.
That's not true.
Okay,
You've been on a roll though, so
yes, I've been winning a lot lately.
Could continue.
Please. So Heather, we do ask everybody that we've had on the show since the very first person. You have to pick a decade, and the only 2 decades you're allowed to choose from are the 80s or the 90s for music.
Oh, that's a hard.
It is.
I guess I'd have to say these
Ooh.
because I am grunge kind of big. Like Black Hole Sun came out. It's a huge, although that movement towards that kind of music.
Yeah.
Like Nirvana and 80s are pretty cool too.
Yep.
That Black Hole Sun video was like amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I saw that. I was like, whoa, much music.
Yeah. Well, you kind of threw us there because you were thinking 80s, weren't you?
No, I think that her and I are similar in age, so I thought that would be
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, thank you very much. We had a hoot just chatting with you there. That was a hoot and a holler. So appreciate your time and look forward to seeing some more stuff. And I'll play a bunch of your stuff for my kids, so that'll be happening
Yay!
tonight. Brush
Thanks
your
so
teeth
much.
and listen to this song. All right.
I'm gonna throw it on tomorrow at work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice, my man. Well, thanks again.
Thanks so much, guys.
Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus.